Hi everyone, I'm Joseph Auriemma, editorial producer of YesNetwork.com, and welcome to the first episode of Yes's Face to Face. Face to Face is an opinion-based show exclusive to YesNetwork.com that talks not only about issues surrounding the Yankees and Nets, but the world of sports. The opinions heard here are not necessarily the views of the Yes Network. Today, my opponent in Face to Face is Glenn Giangrande. He is the lead writer for Yes Network Productions. Now, Glenn, let's get to the first topic. Should Yankee fans be concerned with the Yankees starting rotation?
Absolutely not, in my opinion. It's only April. You've got injured starters, guys like Mike Mussina and Chien-Ming Wang. Jeff Karsten's out. When they come back, there will be no cause for concern. I
completely disagree with you on this. I think there is a concern because right now what you're doing is it's a cause and effect. The starters are not giving them length, even with the injuries. They're only going 4 or 5 innings, and that's going to affect the bullpen for later in the year, which is one of the strengths of this team coming into the season. So when these injured starters do come back, the Yankees are going to expect them to give them 6, 7 innings because the bullpen is going to be worn out by June.
Well, as well they should. I mean, with the Yankees, you know what you're getting in these guys. Mike Mussina, proven. Chien-Ming Wang, proven to a lesser extent. Right. Andy Pettit's going to get better as the season goes on. The weather gets a bit warmer. I think the key to this rotation is nobody that's hurt right now. I think it's Keiagawa. If he can be consistent, going deep into games, getting ahead of hitters, if one of the proven commodities do get hurt, he can step up.
I disagree with you again. Keiagawa, again, is an unproven pitcher. I know he needs to step up, but what are you really going to get from Keiagawa? They paid quite a bit of money for him. And, at this point, he only has 3 starts. Well, I'd like to see him, once he starts facing these teams 2 or 3 times, to see what we really have with Keiagawa. With Mike Mussina, you bring him up, he's a little bit older now. He's not going to give you the 200, 220 innings that he used to give you in years past. Andy Pettit, again, he's had injury problems in years past. He's not going to give you that 200, 220 innings. The Yankees need that at this point. They need a guy who can, they need several guys in the rotation that can go 230 innings, give this team length, and I think there is a cause for concern with this Yankees rotation right now.
Well, the injuries that most of them are out with, Moose, Wang, they're hamstrings. They're going to heal. Jeff Karsten's, he's got the case of tendinitis. That's a fairly common injury for pitchers. He doesn't have a bad case. Carl Pavano, who knows if we're going to see him till 2008.
I do agree with you on one thing. It is early in the season. It is cold. I can understand why they're not going as long into games. But like I said, it is a cause and effect. You get into June, you start wearing out this bullpen now, they're going to expect those starters to go long into games, and it's just not happening right now. And it can't continue like this, so I think there is concern. You said there's not concern. Let's switch gears. Let's go to the Nets now. Nets, 3rd-seeded team in the Eastern Conference. Toronto, 6th-seeded team in the Eastern Conference. Can they upset Toronto and move further into the playoffs?
Well, as far as a long-term playoff run goes for the Nets, I think that's going to be determined by what happens in the other playoff series in the East. If other teams get knocked off that would match up good against the Nets. As far as the Raptors go, I think the Nets have this one. I know they're the 6th seed, Toronto's the 3. We've already seen one 6-3 upset in sports with the New York Rangers in hockey beating the Atlanta Thrashers, and I think it's going to happen again. I just don't think Toronto has the complementary weapons, around Chris Bosh in order to compete with the Nets in a series.
I don't agree with you on this, just because in a series you need consistent play, and that's something the Nets haven't gotten all year, even with Richard Jefferson back in this lineup. They have big-time scorers. They shoot a lot of three-pointers. They've had the most in franchise history this year, but when they go cold, and that's where that's the caveat of this team. When they're not playing well offensively, they're not good enough defensively to win games on a consistent basis. And in previous years, they've won 10 games in a row, 12 games in a row. They just can't do that anymore.
Well, granted, the Nets certainly had their problems this year, but at the end of the year, they got hot exactly at the right time. And also, we're going to be in a situation here where I would expect a couple of these games, definitely against Toronto, to go down to the wire. I mean, after all, over the last couple of seasons, ever since Vince Carter first came to the Nets, it seems like every other net game against the Raptors goes down to the last shot. It's a couple of points with a few seconds left.
I think it's going to be a close series.
I think experience is going to be key. You look at the Nets, aside from the guys like Kidd, Jefferson, Carter, guys like Cliff Robinson, Jason Collins, they've got a lot of postseason experience. On the Raptors, their most experienced postseason guy right now, Rasho Nesterovic, and after him, lesser supporting
characters.
Going
on the experience topic here, I think that the Nets are getting a little bit older. I can't see them making even a big playoff run in the first round. I can't see them even, going 6, 7 games without getting tired. Those legs are getting a little bit old on Jason Kidd and Vince Carter. I'm going to go with youth over experience on this one in this series. I know you have the Nets. I have Toronto in 6. What's your pick?
I would say Nets in 5.
All right, well, that's going to do it here for the first edition of Face to Face. Please join us again next time when we talk more sports on YesNetwork.com. For Glenn Giangrande, I'm Joe Auriemma. Have a good day, everybody.